Hey fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader coming to you on a Wednesday afternoon doing my update for today. Not much of an update. Basically a very break-even day, 40 bucks. We made 20 bucks per Lucid account. That's the only accounts we traded today. And the moral of today was I was right and wrong on both trades. Well, I took 3 trades, but it's really kind of 2 trades. I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail. And that just kind of unnerved me. And after yesterday losing those accounts, I really wanted to be careful today. And so I basically just kind of sat out for the day. Probably missed some opportunities, but it just felt like the right thing to do. It was one of those days where, after the morning trades, I just felt a little bit unnerved and decided, you know what, I'm just going to stay away. The first trade I actually took was on oil. In the pre-market, we had a very nice break and retest of the prior day low. We had retested it here in the pre-market, and then now we were coming into this test. And the mistake here was simply trading with too much size. My stop should have been above this previous wick high. If I would have held my stop there, this trade would have worked beautifully. Instead, I did get stopped out, so that was a mistake. Again, I was right on the trade, completely right on the trade, but because of the way my size was, my stop loss position, I got stopped out, which was unfortunate. And as you can see later in the day after market open, we retested it again. This was the third retest. And once again, at that same spot, it rejected, and we had beautiful downside. So call was good. We just didn't have anything to show for it, which was a little bit disappointing. And then I traded the Russell looking for a break and retest long above the prior day high. I was very patient, and it's again this morning in the markets we had a divergence. And I've noticed this quite a bit. You may have 3 of the major indices going lower and you have 1 going higher, or vice versa. We've had that happen repeatedly recently, and we had it again this morning. If we just look at the 4 markets, look at the Russell, we had a move down, push higher. On the Dow Jones, we had a move lower, push higher. On ES, we had move lower, push higher. On the NASDAQ, we really just consolidated and pushed. And it was definitely a lot more bullish on the NASDAQ than it was on the rest of the market. So that was a bit of an unnerving. But anyway, I went long. I waited for a little bit before taking this entry. And just, again, this was a good setup. We had multiple holds above prior day high, which is a great setup. I love when we trade break and retest above prior day high in the open. That trade has a over 60% chance of working, and it would have worked again. Unfortunately, we had this big deep pullback. I actually added into this position, which was a mistake, and I got stopped out for a $200 and some loss, which was a little bit frustrating. And then that deep wick then is what, once this thing pushed back higher, I'm like, man, I got to get in this trade. This is actually going higher. And it did, and I got out of that trade for nearly $400 trade. So really nice setup there. And then the rest of the day, we just kind of went sideways. And after that, I was happy with that. It brought the accounts back to break even, basically. But again, I was like twice, the call was right, but because of where I took my entry in the setup and just market conditions, I just, I gave back and then I gave away profits and then, made it back. So that was just kind of what set the tone for me to walk away. Looking back, I was in the trade at this time, but this was a good setup on ES, break and retest to prior day high, which did run. So that would have been a nice setup. On the NASDAQ, a little bit tough. There was a little bit of a setup here, break and retest to PDH. Again, I was pretty tied up during that time on that other trade. There was a nice little break and retest here. But again, today for me, just looking at, I didn't watch the charts all day for sure, but the times that I spent looking at the charts, there was a lot of volatility and a lot of what I call indecisive candles. And it just made it difficult today. I'm glad I stayed away. I really am. We had a nice little day and maybe could have made some money, but I was happy to stay away. And, having a nice trade like that is a win. Pretty happy with that. So quick look at TradeZella for today. Here's the stats, 33% win rate, nice average win to loss was over 2, 371 on the winning trade, and the average loss was 173. So happy with that, although it's not nothing really to speak about. On the week, as far as the trades, the accounts that we still have, obviously the legacy accounts, I only traded the one trade yesterday, up 183, and then on the week on the Lucid accounts, we're only down 40 bucks, so no big deal. The rest of these, we no longer talk about them. That's just, don't insult me. Anyway, so that's a wrap for today. Don't forget the Apex sale. If you haven't paid attention, it got extended until I think next Tuesday. So that 90% off sale is running until next Tuesday, which is nice. And the Lucid 50% is still running as well. So appreciate you guys supporting the channel in that way. And again, thanks for following along. Appreciate you guys. Hope you had a good day. We'll catch up with you probably tomorrow. Take care and so long.